With China battling surge in respiratory illnesses, India is on alert and has decided to proactively review preparedness and measures in view of emerging public health situation in China. More in this report.
China is battling a surge in respiratory illnesses. Cases among children are appearing especially high in northern areas like Beijing and Liaoning province. And in these areas, hospitals are warning of long waits. China's health ministry urged local authorities to increase the number of fever clinics.
It's very critical that one is that for the medical service sector, they need to develop so-called graded health admission system, because you have to avoid the sudden surge of patients and coming into the clinic and the hospitals. One of the problems is that when a lot of people coming into the hospital systems, actually the hospital could be overwhelmed by so many patients, and if you do not actually deal with the situation properly, there will be a lot of cross-infections.
China's National Health Commission spokesperson Mi Feng says the surge in acute respiratory illnesses is linked to simultaneous circulation of several kinds of pathogens, most prominently influenza.
Surveillance shows that recent respiratory infectious diseases are dominated by influenza, in addition to those caused by rhinovirus, mycoplasma, pneumonia, respiratory syncytial virus, and adenovirus.
The official picture is that this is being taken seriously, that there's an unusual rise in the number of respiratory illnesses, especially flu, that several different bacteria and viruses, pathogens as they're called, are involved. But because those are relatively normal ones, in effect, the doctors know how to deal with these. These viruses, these pathogens, they aren't unusual. It's not like COVID, when suddenly doctors were surprised by a new virus that hadn't been seen before, and they didn't quite know how to treat it.
The Indian Health Ministry has issued an advisory and has decided to proactively review preparedness and measures in view of emerging public health situation in China. In a letter by Union Health Secretary to states and UTs, they have been advised to immediately review public health and hospital preparedness measures like availability of HR, hospital beds, drugs and vaccines for influenza, medical oxygen, antibiotics, personal protective equipment, testing kits and reagents, functionality of oxygen plants and ventilators, infection control measures in health facilities at a senior level. All states and union territories have been advised to implement operational guidelines for revised surveillance strategy in the context of COVID-19 shared earlier this year, which provides for integrated surveillance of respiratory pathogens presenting as cases of influenza like illness and severe acute respiratory illness. They have also been asked to ensure that the trends should be closely monitored by the district and state surveillance units of the Integrated Disease Surveillance Project, particularly of children and adolescents. The data is required to be uploaded on the official portal, particularly from the public health institutions, including medical college hospitals. States also asked to send nasal and throat swab samples of patients with SARI, particularly of children and adolescents, to virus research and diagnostic laboratories located in the states for testing for respiratory pathogens. A representative of the World Health Organization has stated that although there has been an increase in respiratory infections in China, it is not as high as it was prior to COVID-19, and that no novel or uncommon viruses have been discovered in the latest cases. As per the WHO, the release of COVID-19 restrictions coinciding with the onset of winter season have led to this surge. Bureau Report, DD India.